let's listen in to Baker Mayfield today. So Bake walks up. He's got his hoodie on, just probably about 10, 15 minutes after practice. He just as comfortable as he could possibly be. He just loves being here. This is his home. You'll hear him talking about it. This is where he wants to be forever, and this is where he wants to win a championship. He wants it, and I want it so bad for him and all these guys that are so likable. He's just that guy. He's just that guy. And I don't think his persona, his national persona is so different than who he actually is. And I think that old kind of, cocky Baker thing is kind of going away. I think he's become much more likable, even in the national eye. Not that he's any different. I think maybe he's grown up and been, humbled a little bit.
I think he's gone from cocky to just plain confident and backing it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a difference.
100%. 100%. So here's Baker beating the media here today. I think we got pretty good audio here, so here we go.
Oh, so much.
Said he missed us.
How's the off-season now getting into minicamp and everything been for you?
Oh, it's been really good. I think just obviously the transition from Liam to Grizz has been really, really smooth. Guys just taking ownership of it. Obviously it helps when you have the same pieces back. But then obviously the new additions, the new guys we have, just making sure that when we're teaching it and installing it, the little details don't slip under the rug. You don't take anything for granted, but it's been a really good off-season. Now's the time to get some chemistry down, really get an understanding of the offense, and I think we're in a good place right now. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but good to have Mike back out there today and just to see how it's all coming together.
You texted Jason that you were pretty excited about drafting a Mecca. Just what have you seen from him so far in the time you've worked together?
Yeah, obviously the physical tools, at this level, you got to have talent. Obviously, he has that being a first-round draft pick. The thing that sticks out is how cerebral he is. He's so smart. Right now, I think we could plug and play him in any receiver spot. He understands the offense that well, and that's just him being a pro already. And he's not a rookie. He doesn't act like it, at least. So it's been really good to see him take that ownership. He takes it extremely serious, but he's in constant communication. He always wants to be in the right spot at the right time, and he's much like J-Mac of the understanding in zone coverage, and Chris as well, of understanding when to be open, the voids in the zone defense, and how to be friendly to the quarterback. So it's a nice luxury to have.
I mean, that is some high praise right there. I mean, all those things are things that take years and years to learn in the NFL. Knowing where you are in zone coverage, finding those soft spots, making yourself available to the quarterback. These are highly nuanced professional receiver things. And, he has been trained up well. And it's one of the reasons the Bucs want him and everybody wanted him. And it's interesting to hear Baker say it from that perspective.
You have the consistency with this offense, second year in a row, and word is you're going to get more responsibility at the line of scrimmage. How does that help you and the team just take this to the next level? Yeah,
I mean, you look at the foundation that we tried to, instill last year. We obviously evolved throughout the year and the season. So it's nice to be able for guys to not have to learn it from scratch. There's obviously a few tweaks and things, motions and different things that Grizz wants to get done, which is great to always. If you're not trying to get better, you're not going to survive. So we're doing that right now. And so for me, it's continuing to over-communicate at the line of scrimmage. That was a big step last year, was the responsibility at the line of scrimmage, like you mentioned, but take it to the next level. Really, really take ownership, over-communicate to where when we get a certain pressure or coverage, guys know what I'm going to check to, and that's the part that I have to continue to try and elevate everybody else around me and take that ownership.
I can't stress enough how important this is in an offense. When you're learning an offense, you don't, in 1 year, it's tough to get to that next level where you're coming to, it's almost like playing a musical instrument. Guys, you get to a point where you're not thinking about where you're supposed to put your fingers. It just comes naturally. That's the virtuoso part of it. It becomes part of you. And when he sees it and Mike sees it and Chris sees it, and they all see it at the same time, it's the head nod, those type things that takes an offense to the next level. It's almost, you can't defend it. You can't defend it when they know exactly what you're going to do. So when Brady was in his prime, he could do that with all of his receivers, and they were so smart, and they just, if you know what the coverage is and you know what their responsibilities are and you know where you're going to win, you're at such a huge advantage and within the playbook. And so now with Grizz wants to give him even more responsibility at the line of scrimmage. So when he sees stuff, he can check to it, and the communication is there. Everybody's on the same page. That's why this is why the Bucs wanted the continuity. They could have gone out and got 100 guys that have called plays in the NFL, and but they didn't want to do that because they knew that Baker was taking ownership of this playbook, and they didn't want to have him start over again. They wanted him and everybody else in the offense to continue to grow, because if all this goes well, Baker Mayfield's going to be calling 40 to 50% of the plays at the line of scrimmage. That's we're all what's Grizz going to call? What's Grizz going to call? What's Baker going to call? That's what I'm interested in. What's Baker going to call? And that's why I asked him that question. And you could just hear him, it's that continuity that he knows that he can get you to the right play almost every single time. And that is with the weapons that they have and the continuity they have and the physical talents that they have on offense, especially along the offensive line and in the receivers and in the running backs. Man, this offense can be lethal in its continuity. All right, more Baker.
Is there a little bit more of a vertical element to the passing game this year?
This is fun too.
Yeah, I mean we're trying to get some more explosive. Obviously, when you look at the stats, I'm not a big stat guy, but we weren't as much down the field explosives. We were creating a lot of open in the middle and guys getting some yak. But yeah, working on that, being able to connect on it, the chemistry we're trying to build right now, and just the timing of some of these routes, where the landmarks are, understanding if it's too high, one high, where we're trying to throw the ball. So yeah, this is the time of year we're working on it. Obviously, you would love to have more down the field shots, but any completion is a good one.
Baker, about you running a little bit less this year, even though you were very effective.
Question about running a little bit less.
This time of the year, just sit around and watch tape.
Why are they mowing the grass?
I'm trying to win games. like I tell you guys, it's football. There's a time and place. On third downs, got to have it situations where I'm going to try and do everything I can to get the first down or whatever it is that we need. But there's also a time and place to throw the ball away. I think when it comes to protecting myself, I think the biggest thing is the sack number. And a lot of that was holding on to the ball. And there's give and take. There's the scramble element of trying to create explosive plays, but there's also situations in the game. Where are we at? Are we leading? Are we down? Do we need something? Don't force it. Just throwing the ball away and trusting our defense to get it back to us.
Baker, Coach Bowles talked a couple of months ago about killer instinct, saying the team needs more of it. It's got to come from the players. What does that mean to you?
A lot of times when we would start fast, there's always that lull. And I think in the past 2 years of just me being here, overall, you stand back and look at the beginning of the season to the middle of the season, it's not getting satisfied, always hitting the reset button, whether it's the next week or the next series, next play. So that killer instinct it doesn't matter what we're doing. We gotta put teams away when we're ahead.
When you're talking about lull, are you talking about in games or also like in season? Because the last 2 years you guys have also had to fight your way out of a little bit of a hole in season for different reasons.
Yeah, obviously there's been different circumstances and things that have contributed to the mid-season lulls, but I wouldn't say it's anything with the preparation or week to week. It's just guys just executing, doing their job, and that's what you really try and hone in on the back end of the season is once you know a team, your scheme, you're not installing a whole lot of new plays, so you really got to do the little details well. And so that's really the emphasis right now is guys just trusting each other to do the job and continuing to do it.
A couple of young guys, Tez Johnson, rookie, and Jake Majors, who's obviously taking snaps at center, and then Devin Culp. Those three guys looking to take a jump to the next level for a year two in their rookie year. What have you seen from them?
Yeah, I think Jake's done a really good job. This offense commands a lot of the center. It really does, mentally, obviously physically, blocking those big boys up front. But he's done a really good job handling the mental aspect of it. Devin's continuing to make strides for us. He was obviously had a little bit of a showcase last year, but continuing to grow and understand what we're trying to get done. He's got so much physical talent, so it's about putting that all together. And Tez Johnson's a guy that obviously a later draft pick, but a lot of talent. Little guy, but really explosive. Understands how to win on leverage. One of those guys you really can't touch in a phone booth, so it's fun to watch him release off press coverage. So we're just trying to get as many people involved. Obviously, last year we understood that you're going to need a lot more than just your starting 11. So trying to get everybody to elevate their standard and be ready to go.
Maybe do you feel like Barton is stepping up into more of a leadership?
That's the first half of Baker Mayfield. Yeah, so you can just tell that he's got such a mastery of this offense, and Scott Reynolds asked that question about going downfield. There's definitely, we saw 2 or 3 shots today in the team period. One of them, as I mentioned, J-Mac dropped. I think I think that's part of what Grizzard's difference is going to be. And there is some new terminology. There are new motions. So it's not all the same. There are a lot of wrinkles, which is good because everybody's watching the tape of the Bucs. They're going to figure out what the Bucs do well and be prepared for it in the this coming season, especially your divisional foes, who we open up with the Falcons. So
yeah, teams do that even when they don't change offensive coordinators.
Right.
They change their terminology up. Yeah.
So you want a little bit of that, and that's what we're getting from Baker Mayfield. All right, let's go to a little bit more from Baker here. Finishes up. Talking about O-line and Graham Barton.
He's still a rookie till game 3. But Graham's done a great job, and that's that O-line room last year. And hats off to Hainsey how he handled it, but also Graham, leaning on his veterans, not trying to do it all himself, and so he's definitely taken a huge step in the leadership role, and we're going to continue to ask him to do that. And that's much like, Tristan's not exactly a vocal guy, but he's going to continue to be asked to be a leader, and so Graham's done a great job. Obviously, having a year under your belt, the game slows down a lot, so him just being able to control those guys and get them all on the same page is huge for us.
Baker, year 3 for you here in Tampa. A lot of change with the offensive coordinator. You have some continuity there, but personally and professionally, how settled are you in this franchise with this talent and this team?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it since the beginning. This feels like home. It has, and it continues to feel better and better. Just like I said many times, they allow me to be myself, the best version of that, and so that's the best part. And so understanding that I'm around a lot of the same personnel, I'm allowed to and able to get a lot more out of the guys. And so obviously I'm happy to be here, happy to have a home, but we have a lot of unfinished business and things that we need to do to take the next step. We're not just, it's not just about a division title. It's about making a run for the Super Bowl and a deeper playoff run. And that's the attention to detail, the focus and strain that it's going to take for us to take it to the next level. And I think we have the pieces to do it.
Do you have any memories of playing against Hassan Reddick or just watching film of him prepping?
Yeah, he's pretty damn fast off the edge. He's a great player. I know everybody wants to make a big deal about when he's going to be here and when he's not, but he's a good guy, and there's a reason he signed here. He wants to help us win, and we're happy to have him.
Baker, how was practice today? A lot of chirping in the red zone there, Anthony.
A lot of chirping.
Talking. Do you like that? And then what does it do for the team?
Yeah, AWOC and I go back to our Cleveland days, so we've had a great relationship since then. But it's always great to. I mean, Coach Bull said it last week. You can't talk trash until you know your job, and Anthony Walker's a great veteran that understands his job and what he needs to get done. So elevating the standard in practice, the competition level is good for everybody, and so yeah, you want to see that as long as guys are doing their job.
You got a camp this Friday?
Yeah.
Be free to be.
All right, there's Baker Mayfield. Listen, if you're making your list right now, I think Chris Sims had a list out of quarterbacks. He's in your top 10. Absolutely. I think stats-wise, he was in the top 4 or 5 last year. But,
along with the rest of the offense, yeah.
Exactly. So, you can put him – he's no lower than 10 in my book right now in the league. I think last year he was kind of mid, by most rankings in terms of preseason. But his over-under on passing touchdowns, I think it was 22.5, ended up with 41. I haven't checked this year, but I'm going to go over whatever the hell it is. Because without him getting hurt, he's going to have a hell of a year. He really is. So good to hear from Baker Mayfield.